No gum this time. It's currently 11:33 p.m. on the 19th, so the same day as record everything else. And oh my god, dude, I've been recovering from a sickness for like nearly almost a month at this point, like over a month. I'm like basically 100%, but I still be coughing. Shit is months. Maybe it's mentality or like mental health connected, because when it's this late at night, you just can't help but think so poorly about your life, even if it's not warranted. So the last couple of videos have been really silly, and like off the dome, and just there's like bits and pieces of thoughts in there, but really it's mostly me just throwing words at you because my mind is like running. You know, this video is not going to be much different, but I feel like because it's this late, I'm like sort of letting my mind wander and think, and I think it's fun. It would help for me to. I've always been pretty happy with my voice. It's not lower for the sake of the video. I hope it isn't. This is just naturally, I'm just cool like that. Shit. Anyway, so you don't want to be a bit longer because here to organize at least a little bit of these late night thoughts. Not all of them. There's just a lot. I think the first video on this channel sort of discussed the idea of, you know, what if we never make it? What if there's no I don't think it was the first one. It was, I think it's like the fourth one. Whatever. The one that got that comment on. I'm so sorry, I forgot your username already, but that comment on um where I sort of spoke about uh like what, like the the lack of light at the end of the tunnel, the just kind of letting every day go by and not really being sad about the state of my life, or like in any state of like pure, like raw, like negative emotion. I don't cry that every day. I'm very grounded, or I try to be very grounded, and end the day that like a boring filler day to me is still better, or the average day of my life is like way a million times better than the average day. It's someone in like some difficult situation, some of the countries and things happening in the world. But I would be remiss in saying that a lot of the days recently, for like the last couple of years, have been uh pretty tricky on an internal level, because you know talk about that light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing, and a lot of it has to do with when I speak about school. I think I spoke about school, where school and anything like in terms of like actual building the future of my person, career, uh things like that. I'm not afraid of hard work, chat, demons. I think we all have it in us to be like really grinders. I really don't think grinding is like the hard part, in my opinion. I think the hard part is like the constant, like, reignition of whatever you need to do. You know, I have no. I'm kind of gassing it a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the schoolwork is really fucking annoying, but I'm a humanities kid. You know, at the end of the day, I just do the reading, I do the writing, I go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Every degree got hard parts, okay, but of the ones that are out there, I calling it calling a spade. The workload of mine isn't the worst shit ever. So, but honestly, just when you go to class and you're just sitting there thinking like, yo, what's the point of this? Not even barring all the real world, like, don't even bring in the real world context of it, of like, this job or this degree, if you're not going to teach, it's no point. AI this will replace that sort of thing, like that. And then just like economy and like the job search in general is really difficult. I'm gonna be the first to tell you that I'm pretty buzzword educated on that stuff. I've never really looked too hard into it. I know it's like there because it's hard to avoid things like that. But you never want to fill your head up with that stuff. You can call it ignorance. I think that's fair, but you never want to be too. In my opinion, it's enough to be realistic and be educated, but I think to fill your head with it, it's because you just fill your head with all this negative stuff. It doesn't help, especially to people like me, where I would never say I'm negative, but like when you hang in like that balance of like it isn't too great, but it's not bad either. It's like the more you're given more things to be negative about on a daily basis if you live a life like mine. So you're gonna easily like be more um sort of down with the dumps about it. But anyway, that's besides the point. You know, I think the current biggest fear in life right now, right? And I like to think that I take a lot of solace in the fact that I enjoy being human. That end of the day, we're capable of feeling fear to begin with, of feeling stress and anxiety. Like, they're not good feelings, obviously. Um, a lot of people would love to live a life without it, uh, me included. But being able to be stressed about it is human. So I take a bit of solace in that. You know what I mean? Um, but what I was saying was, where even was I going? What the fuck was I talking about? You asked me, you know, the fucking situation, like first date 101, deep question, off the list of where you see yourself in 5 years and shit. And honestly, well, again, I don't have any wants there in terms of like, I want to be this. It's all I don't want. I still don't, I really hope that this degree is done. Either I have the fucking paper saying you did it, or I just, finally had the balls to just be like, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. Like FOMO be damned. Uh, Stuff like that. And because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the biggest motivator for me to still be here is just like, I don't really want to trailblaze my own path. This is gonna sound really pathetic and kind of lame. But like, I I'm not sure if I'm built to be that person. I'm not gonna lie, to go do something different, like not get a degree. Um, and if I did, I'd have to try really hard to figure that out. Not to make fun of people who do that, but I feel like people who do that have like kind of a rough reputation. If you're like an online demon like I am, they get the reputation of like, education. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. All that sort of stuff. I make 30K, a day typing away and shit. You know, I'm not like that though. If you ever see me ask you for a Timu code, just kill me at that point. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I would hope this degree is over. Um, I don't think I'd be moving out. It'd be nice too, but you got to hope for $1 million fall out the sky, and then hope my social circle sticks around. But I'll be honest. Uh, I think I would leave first before anyone else did, and not because I dislike anybody, but you know, I think the trajectory of my life is still kind of sloping, and I feel like the moment you agree or decide for yourself that you aren't happy with yourself, everyone else is gonna feel it, and everyone else is gonna be happy with you. You're just gonna make it their problem. But obviously, I love my social circle. I love all the people I know and shit. But when I finally take that step out, just know I'm doing it for everybody, including me, because I know I can't handle being in social situations if I hate my fucking life. It just won't be good for everybody. So I'm gonna take that step. But that's why, we're hoping that like that that rainbow at the end of the fucking tunnel comes, and like I make it happen or some shit. I kind of go back and forth on the idea of on like what that moment is supposed to be. It I get you're supposed to take it when it comes, but like when is that sign? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm always wondering. Like when is that sign that tells you like, hey, that's the door you gotta run into, or like it's not the way I want to explain it. Like what I'm waiting for that moment that like to kick the door open essentially. 'Cause I think the door is always there, right? But like, I never feel inspired enough to open it, to change something, to do something different. And I feel like the only thing that pushes me to keep going is like, I just really don't want it to be my fault. Like, if I get kicked out on the street right now, I would hope the world owes me enough courtesy to make it quick. Like, just put me out of it. You know what I mean? Um, I think that's it. This is not really like where I wanted to go with that thought, but I kind of got lost because 11 p.m. I don't really want to make long videos just yet. Like, this is gonna be the longest video so far, and I really don't want to like make it the norm that I speak for like 10 plus minutes and just off the cuff bullshit. You know what I mean, chat? But we keep trucking because we're real demons. We don't let like a little bit of shit stop us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't kill us yet. So, you know what I'm saying?